Greetings, geeks. Welcome to episode 467 of Geeks in Space. This is another very special After Dark episode. This is Brain Scan, and I am here today.
Brainstorm.
Brainstorm. Brain Scan. Did I get it wrong in the tweet, or did I get wrong? All right, I got it wrong everywhere.
Probably got it wrong everywhere.
The title's up.
Oh, now it's real.
You need a brain scan.
It's true.
You get a brain scan, and you get a brain scan. Everyone gets a brain scan.
I'm enjoying a Wendy's Frosty.
You got it wrong in the tweet.
What's that? Did I? I'm awesome.
Yeah. Okay.
You can correct me and ridicule me. I deserve all the punishment that I'm given. So this is Doug Trumbull's epic in air quotes masterpiece. Trumbull, of course, is the special effects genius largely credited for 2001. I mean, later on, I think he was instrumental in Tron. Basically, if it wasn't Star Wars, it was basically Trumbull.
It was Doug.
After all these years of doing special effects for crazy people like Kubrick, he finally gets to he made a couple of his own movies. And this was his last one, I guess, because it went so smooth.
Well, it did. This is a great, I mean, from an effects perspective, this is remarkable. Yeah. This is what we're still in 1983, right?
Totally.
I mean, this is seriously cool stuff.
This is like, I would say, the height of the analog effects era. Like this, Back to the Future, because you get too much later than that, you hit Jurassic Park, and then it's all CGI after that.
And look at this font, man. That's like the Dune font. They use that in Dune. They use that in a bunch of really cool things, man.
And the backdrop looks like my Trapper Keeper. Like we've got the arbitrary.
Oh, you had a Trapper Keeper like that?
Yep.
For sure.
Arbitrary random geometric shapes.
For sure.
Little flecks of stuff. Grid on the background.
I mean, look at this.
Yeah.
Wow. It's like coming out to get. I was actually thinking Danny Elfman. I feel like with the font warped like this, you could see this as being.
Wait a second. Wait. Listen, Danny Elfman at this point in his career was still doing Oingo Boingo, and his hit was Only a Lad, right? Yeah, Only a Lad. You really couldn't blame him, and it was kind of an apologetic.
All right.
I
should have said Tim Burton.
I'm sorry for the patriarchy.
I should have said Tim Burton.
Yeah,
I apologize.
Okay.
The two are joined at the hip.
Now, what's funny about Oingo Boingo is their album Only a Lad was used as the soundtrack for Surf Nazis Must Die, which starred Malvin from Tron. So you pulled it all together.
Oh yeah. So all right, this movie is good.
It is good.
Like it's good.
It's actually it's prophetically good. People wouldn't handle it, brainstorming, this well until like 2010, 2011.
No, this holds up. This holds up. It's got Nate, like you said this earlier. It's got 80s pacing, but it's got a lot of modern stuff kind of mixed into it somehow. I don't know, man. I enjoyed it tremendously.
And a Trapper Keeper.
It's a solid sci-fi premise. Like it's basically like pure virtual reality. Like,
What was the movie? There was a movie very similar to this. It was a 90s flick.
Was it called Strange Days?
There you go. That's the one.
Oh, yeah.
And they play with a lot of the same...
That was 99, yeah.
A lot of the same science fiction-y tropes.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we will be talking spoilers. This movie has people scanning in their emotions, recording them, and then playing them back, in a way that is familiar to a lot of sci-fi tropey stuff that we've all seen since this.
But I mean, who did it before Brainstorm? I don't know. I mean,
I imagine there's like 12 Philip K. Dick stories.
Yeah, but they all came after. Philip K. Dick didn't hit his popularity in movies until later.
But I thought he wrote
maybe
all this stuff in the 60s.
maybe like a Twilight Zone, but I can't think of any movie that had this premise.
James Horner.
The credits are actually pretty impressive by
1983
standards. Like it holds your interest.
Yeah, I mean, this is I was thinking about like all the weird swirly stuff that you get at the intro of like an X-Men movie or a Spider-Man movie, Turn of the Millennium. And this is very much all of that, but this is analog. I mean, they were, projecting onto film. This is crazy.
And it's got a bit because this turns out this is their calibration.
They use the transition from what you think is just the credits to the calibration of the Brainstorm scanner device or whatever. I mean, this is like solid movie making.
Yeah, this is across the board. There we go. Produced and directed by Douglas Trumbull, who kind of went a little wacky after this.
What did he do after this?
I'll tell you some things. There it is.
This is the opening shot, and I think this is also a great opening shot to the movie.
So we get the fisheye lens. And this movie does the thing that I enjoy and that we've seen in other movies before, Galaxy Quest maybe being the most effective, where they play with aspect ratios for storytelling effect. Galaxy Quest does it most effectively when Tim Allen walks out onto the spaceship and they switch from 16:9 to a Hollywood-wide 2.35 to 1 ratio. It's like to show you that he is stepping into a broader world. They literally made the screen bigger. And this movie does the same thing. But the weird thing about this is that Trumbull, part of his whole deal is he's like a high frame rate guy. His whole career is he was obsessed with high frame rates. And he wanted to shoot all of the scenes that you were going to see through the experiential device. He wanted to shoot those all using a new high frame rate technique. And
show scan.
Yeah, show scan. And he never got to do it. At the end, he just ended up using a fisheye lens and a different aspect ratio. And it's effective, but for sure. But no theater wanted to install special projectors to project 60 frames per second in 1983 for some reason.
For Brainstorm. Not even for Brainstorm?
Not even, especially.
He's got some papers out there about doing variable rate as well, which nobody has tried yet. I mean, he's talking about it in 2012, and we have G-Sync monitors, but nobody's talked about doing that for the theaters. This guy, he may be pretty innovative, Just saying.
So the first thing that I really appreciated about this movie was I think this might be one of the most realistic labs I've ever seen in my life.
Right?
Kind of dirty.
This is what a real lab in the 80s looks like. It's a mess. There's shit everywhere. Someone is undoubtedly smoking someplace.
Yep. Nurse Ratchet, I want my cigarettes.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah, Louise Fletcher is incredible.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Back to the regular view.
Are you using the Chrome way of moving forward again?
Today I installed a Chrome plugin that gives me key bindings. So in theory, I can now move 1 second at a time.
Ooh.
I know. We got some next level fancy here.
So let me point out that I think this may be one of the most magnificent helmets in cinema.
Oh, no doubt.
This gives the Calendar Hat and Ghostbusters a run for its money for sure.
Totally.
This might actually have an advantage because I think that if you're going to stack it up for weird heads to put inside of a weird helmet, Christopher Walken might actually trump Rick Moranis.
Or Christopher Lloyd.
Ooh, another good helmet.
Mm-hmm. Another colander-based helmet too.
Yeah.
Clockwise rotation.
The other thing that's a little weird to me is that Christopher Walken throughout this movie, it's like he hasn't fully discovered his Walken-ness yet.
Mm-hmm. His shtick.
Yeah, he's just not quite there yet.
Okay, Hal.
Like he still punctuates sentences like a human being.
And not like Christopher Walken.
Yeah, it quite honestly, it made me think that I don't know that I appreciate him unless he's a whack job, to tell you the truth. Or super eccentric.
But at the same time, you can see why everyone wanted him in their movies. He's got this great physicality. He's got this great presence. And, there you go.
It kind of irritated me that they had a clacker that they never
Yeah,
clack.
right?
Like here he
Yeah.
is just standing there with this clacker, and I'm not even sure if that clacker has the actual thing.
It doesn't have a hinge.
Yeah.
It's just an electronic,
I think it's supposed to look
calibration
modern.
device.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so hip and cool and high tech.
Maybe because in the future we'll have worked out all the audio sync problems, and so the idea of clacking film will just be something that we're past now. Man, that's a great image.
Mm-hmm.
This movie is just stunningly well shot for what it is. It's pretty amazing. Now, what does he end up eating?
Steak with hot
Steak,
fudge, peanuts,
marshmallows, and a cherry
on
on top.
top.
And it made me think watching this that it's good that we didn't have this technology at the Dexter office, because I can guarantee you way more horrible things would be
Right?
fed to people.
No, we just send Vroom down and have him go eat food for us so we can
Right.
taste it.
No way. Do you know on one of the prop sale stores, they have a recording strip from the movie for sale?
Nice.
Oh, you can tell I'm not drinking because I'm not buying this. But wow, look at that.
I like that there's Coke
I mean,
on
it's
the
just
table.
a piece of holographic ribbon. You know, it's not a big deal. But
There is a lot of
Also-
Coca-Cola in this movie.
Also, this was the beginning for me of my love of the unsung hero of this movie, Gordy.
Sing it.
Yep, totally.
tell us about Gordy.
Oh,
Sing
we'll
us a
get
song of
there.
your people.
Jason
we'll get there,
Lively,
Chris.
Blake Lively's half brother.
Really?
Yep.
That's super weird.
Wait, what?
Gordy
So this has a Deadpool connection?
is Jason Lively, who is Blake Lively's half brother.
But he's so much older.
Yeah, well, it's a half, you know.
That's amazing. That's a great fact, Nate. Keep it up, man.
This is you, Rob.
You know what I love about this movie? They use the hell out of that logo. Like they came up with that
Yeah.
logo for Research for a Better Tomorrow. That son of a bee is everywhere.
Totally.
I admire their stick-to-itiveness. I wanted to put the logo like I didn't have time, but I wanted to put it like all over like the broadcast. Like it's like this is cool. So
Yep, we can move forward.
All right.
well, was this Nate or Zen?
Oh, I just liked the organ in this piece. Like,
Right.
I just thought the setup was great. Like
You like
that is
Gordy's organ?
yeah, it's not it's not a
I see what you did there.
it's not a classic organ. It's a like modern 1980s like a type of organ that corporation would buy.
Right.
Not the one that Danny Elfman would play.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's not like a DX7. It's like the granddaddy of the Moog or something. I don't know.
And of course, there's a lot of sexual harassment that occurs throughout this whole scene.
Ugh.
Although I do get the impression that, you know, this is a group of people like, you know, yeah, we were talking about this with War Games, right? When the security guard was hitting on the secretary outside the door when Matthew Broderick is breaking out. This group of people are friends. Like there's a couple that are married. They've been together, you know, through their career for what seems to be, you know, decades or more. I got more of the impression that this was just like people giving each other crap.
No, she still is like obviously annoyed. And,
Sure.
You know, yeah.
Well, with Hell, but not with Gordy, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Whoa.
What's funny is when he's shocked, he does this thing where he goes like this, and then he sort of rolls his lip around on his teeth. I'm like, this guy, he had control over his face. It's kind of great.
This movie has an amazing number of cigarettes.
Yes.
Oh no,
Well,
so much smoking.
yeah.
Oh,
And monkeys.
The monkeys. This was kind of dark, man. The other thing.
This was super dark.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they plug Christopher Walken into the monkey brain.
I don't know.
Perfect mate for Dr. Brace. I don't know if that's such a good idea.
No, like the Institutional Review Board, like would not appreciate this. This is a career-ending prank.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
you don't do
so-
that.
So this is when I decided for sure that Gordy was my man.
He's
I
your
gotta
spirit
tell you,
animal.
the fact
I'm
that
never
just
trusting
to
you
screw,
with anything, Robert Rosen.
just to screw with him, they plug him into the monkey brain. It reminded me of a certain Jart game that certain people played.
This may completely fuck your brain, but
Yeah. This is great. These people are such good friends. They can almost scramble each other's brains, and it's all cool.
And I think
Good
that's
for Gordy.
I think that's kind of what I kind of enjoy. And I also really like the idea that all of this data, this huge amount of data that they're setting, is just over what appears to just be like a coax cable. It's pretty great.
Well, no, like they put it over like an acoustic coupler later in the movie. I'm like, yeah, it's like a couple bits per second, whatever, you know.
They sprung
all
for
of
the-
human existence is really just small data.
They sprung for the 1200 baud modem. So they had actually a lot of extra bandwidth.
That's a lot of baud.
It's true. Let's see. I want to see if I can get a little more of the monkey.
You're in a monkey.
Yeah. You see what a good time Gordy's having with the guys.
He's figured it out. He knows what he's doing with his life.
I get why Gordy's your favorite, but
it's dark. It's super dark.
It's dark. Yeah.
See, I guess I'm okay with that though.
He's fine. He's fine.
But also,
I like how he teases her.
Yep. But from a foreshadowing perspective, I mean, this makes sense. They've now set up the stakes. This device is dangerous. It can be maliciously used, and that's an incredibly effective way to do it.
And it can be hooked up to animals, which is going to be an important point later for me. You'll see, Chris. You'll see.
Okay. Gordy. He kind of looks like Blake Lively. No, I don't know if that's true.
So that was just a made-up thing? I don't even know if I believe anything anymore.
I'm not sure I believe Nate when he says that.
Oh
but
my
I'll
God,
look it
just
up later.
Google it. Just Google it.
I can't believe that
Okay.
you would impinge my honor. It's not like I plugged into a monkey, Nate.
So here, the guy on TV says, "It's the only tame aardvark in the world that I know of."
All right, let's see if we can get it. All right,
That
let's
is
see.
a great TV line.
Too quiet.
You got to go back.
Ah.
He says, "It's the only tame aardvark in the world that I know of." And then he looks at the aardvark and he says, "You don't have to angle for the camera, aardvark."
Yeah. Wow.
Nice.
That's fantastic.
Good catch.
Good catch. Great catch.
The bike is beautiful here.
Yeah.
It's got a TV on it.
No. Does
That's
it?
a bike computer, I believe.
What?
Yes, it's a bike computer on that thing in the front. It it has a display. You see it as he goes. It's incredible.
Check
It
out
was
that
like a
arc-
This is
combination-
1983.
It was like
It's
a
high-tech.
combination. I remember those. They were like combination speedometer, odometers. Like they it was just a little microprocessor that you'd put sensors on your bike.
I figured it was just a mock-up with like a gel in front of it, man. Is it real?
No, they actually had those. I remember looking at them in like Popular Mechanics catalogs.
Nate's dreaming.
Oh no, I mean this movie was right up, like right in my crosshairs as a kid.
Oh yeah.
I just wanted to point out the tech park signs because they're very intentionally sort of placed, and really what this is, and just to kind of contrast 1980s tech like fantasy versus like 20 Y2K tech fantasy. Like these things happen in the labs of General Electric, and it's trying to place this fake company as being like a General Electric, not like a two guys in a garage, which is more the post-internet sort of high-tech fantasy. Or
I mean, this is a big company's lab. right?
Yeah.
And it was filmed in a pharma company's lab, I guess. All the lab scenes in that funny building they've got there.
Mhm.
So still there in North Carolina.
A lot of those buildings are really cool.
This kid.
Yeah, wow. This kid is not really cool. A lot of Wright brothers. A lot of they really milked that to not particularly good effect, I thought.
Well, it's weird too because they go from like RTP to Pinehurst, which is 2 hours away, to Kitty Hawk, which is another 2 hours away. It's like,
Mhm.
I'm like, these aren't next door.
You're having a hard time with the believable traversal of distances in your science fiction.
Yeah, it's the same thing with No Way Out, man.
Yeah, I get it. You know, sometimes you want to go warp 10. You just can't.
You just can't.
You just can't, man. This was yours, Chris.
Yeah, so if you just let it play, he has so many darn horses.
Oh, yeah.
What
look at
is
that.
going on?
Mhm.
Like, there's a point where it's too many horses, Cliff Robertson.
They got their logo again there.
So, yeah. It's well, I mean, the logo, right? They did a great
Yeah.
job on that. But yeah, but it's just so many darn horses. That's all. Honestly, I love almost every part of this. It's a little unrealistic that she's against the military use of her technology when they've been funding it for however many years.
It
and
seems
she
like you
knows
might
it.
have been noticing.
Well, it's a little fake. That's all. I mean, everyone I know who gets funded by the military, they know who's funding them. They know what happens. Okay, so this is the same kid from European Vacation or
Yes, it's
Really?
Rusty
Vacation
Griswold.
2.
Rusty!
It's Rusty Griswold.
It's Rusty.
He's so obnoxious in this movie. I don't know what it is. It's just like, they're not great parents either, just for the record. I mean, they're pretty bad. But
True.
he's also just like, he's like this obnoxious kid,
Well, he's just so stupid.
He's so dumb.
I hate this small human child. I hate him.
I mean, but I don't know what it is about him that makes me like really dislike him.
He's got a punchable face.
Another Century 21 Blazer there, I think.
Yeah, Super Century 21, right?
Very popular.
They were the big deal in real estate. They were the first like national brand of real
Yeah.
estate, back in the day. Before Remax tried to take their
Ooh.
star from the sky.
Yeah, that's no good. All right.
What's weird is the gal in that scene, the blonde there in the background. It's like I think she's also like someone else's like girlfriend. I think she's like the generic extra in this movie, or it's just
Is she
girls
Blake
who
Lively?
look like her. I think it's Blake Lively.
It's probably
Yeah.
Blake Lively.
Or her older first cousin by way of her uncle. Zen. No, who's next? Oh,
I
hey,
did-
These
yeah,
jet things are cool.
I just like, these are fake flight simulator graphics, but I just thought I liked it. It was very Tron-ish,
I wonder if they did that using the same, the slit scan stuff that they did in 2001. It really looks like it.
Mm-hmm. It does.
Yeah, I hate to beat a dead horse, but Gordy's commitment to gathering data of all kinds
Oh yes.
is really inspiring because
No.
this is right in the middle of the montage of Gordy doing all kinds of different things
Right.
just
Yeah.
to keep just to get the experiences,
you're
Leave
absolutely
no stone unturned. That's
Right.
what Gordy
Yeah.
says.
Yep. This is a medical water slide.
He is my science hero, Gordy is.
If more scientists were Gordy's,
Yeah.
we would
Yeah,
have
he-
breakthroughs all the time.
He may not be the smartest or have the most money, but you know what he has? Commitment to the project. That's
Yep.
what
He's
Gordy
got
has.
stones. He's got nerve.
He's the
He's
guy.
got what America needs today and doesn't have
Yeah.
enough of.
He's got an eye and he has an idea of how to use this technology.
Yep.
Guy's gonna
And
drive.
it starts
he's
with
gonna
little
swim.
cars.
He's
He's
going to
gonna
go
fly.
to gentlemen's clubs.
Well, we'll
All
get
right,
to
Gordy.
that. Hi, Gordy.
Poor Gordy. I mean, he's living his best life for sure.
Yeah.
More horses.
Yeah, he goes on a horse ride,
Yep.
and I'm like, okay.
Cool.
Yep. This one.
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
pretty
Yeah.
amazing.
So here's the thing: there is no way that helmet's waterproof.
Yeah. That was what I was
way.
thinking too.
Well, Well, it wasn't until Gordy got a hold of it.
Yep.
It
There
does
we
look like he
go.
might have added a little bit of extra, something. Maybe
See,
it's like
I think this is the
2.0.
same extra. I think she just
Blake Lively.
she's everywhere in this movie. Yeah, Blake Lively.
He's gonna. Blake.
Gordy Lively.
I wonder if the green screen just cropped that out. That would be funny. Let's see. 21. Next one's Chris.
What did I say about this? Let's see where you get there. Oh, it was nothing really. So there's a video game called Super Hot, and I just when I saw there's something that happens like right before, and I was like, stop. So there you go. So he's wearing like these red tights.
Yeah, totally.
And I was like, is this the inspiration for Super Hot's whole like design aesthetic? That's all. It's not important. Oh gosh, that's right.
Yeah. Oh man, more fun. And all shot with a fisheye lens.
This is where you see that this is being shown to their board.
Yep.
Yeah, the board of directors is,
So-
is
like,
getting the
Go,
experience.
go a little further because I think we're going to see him bank here.
Yeah, they all like to do this.
Yeah, which I just thought, I just like that shot of like,
Whoa. Old people tipping is always funny.
exactly.
Yeah, well, the thing that I was going to say is they do an overhead shot of the table, and they're all basically these ribbon cables going into a concentrator, and it's like, technology at this time was terrible. And then this thing, like he goes from like, like from a road off the cliff, and I'm like, there was no hang glider attached. You know, I'm like, so they kill people for these? Did Gordy kill somebody?
For science.
Yeah.
If you need a job done for science, you call Gordy. And he takes care of it.
Also, think of all these shots that are coming up here and what they must have cost in 1983 versus like
this is stock photos.
A lot of
They didn't book a helicopter in San Francisco.
They
I
had
bet they
to
did.
B-roll, man.
film of it.
I bet
Like,
they shot all this.
they put it through. They just reshot it with a fisheye lens.
You think?
Like they would project it and they took another fisheye like real close. It's fine.
Now
It doesn't have to be perfect, and you can even see the artifacts in the upper right hand corner there of the screen. It's like the vignetting from the lens is
Well, that's just a fisheye.
obvious and amateurish.
I'm sorry. I'll get my fisheye out and I'll shoot it for tomorrow's episode. How about that?
Yeah.
In honor of Brain, whatever this is.
Storm.
Storm.
Brain something.
So, I'm watching this whole thing, right? And first it's a roller coaster, and then it's a bobsled, and then it's a chase down the highway, and just a whole bunch of stuff going fast and stupid, and I'm like...
And you're loving
I'm
every
like-
second of it.
I'm like, finally, at the end, they buried the lead. The thing that they should have started with.
Yep.
Back out like
For this
5 seconds or something.
for this
Oh,
presentation to this bunch of greedy old white men on this board of directors, like
They have
like-
large bosomed women with fish.
And
so
is
they should have started here and
Yep.
then let Gordy go. And Gordy, would be like,
I know what to do.
we are going to take these things, we're going to put them on lions, and you're going to be able to experience what a lion feels like when it hunts a wildebeest. You're going to taste the hot blood in your mouth, You ever wanted to try hard drugs, but were worried about long-lasting physical effects? We have
Not
months.
me.
We have months of benders on tape for you to experience, At Gordy Industries, we're not making the world better. We're just making it more interesting.
I
It's
like
gonna be way more fun.
I like the
That's the
disgust.
yeah,
That's the pitch, and this is a billion-dollar company.
Oh, for sure.
totally.
No, billion, trillion, man. Are you
Yeah,
kidding?
yeah.
I mean,
Like
isn't,
trillion in the 80s dollars.
Isn't this the fundamental premise of every virtual reality headset
Magic
currently on
Leap.
the market?
Yeah, I mean, come on. Yeah.
So the thing that killed me about the the women with the fish scene is that it was clearly in the same building because they had the logos everywhere. And I'm like, do they have like a corporate like strip club? This is very strange. You know?
It was the 80s. It was a different time, Chris.
I guess I'm just too close-minded, obviously, too broken.
No, you're just too modern. Chris Walken looking good.
Yeah, this is just them freaking out about military intervention. And the thing is, so James Horner did the music for this, and he did the music for Star Trek 2, right? And Star Trek 1. And like, I kept on hearing, Jim, why are they taking Genesis away from us? And I'm like, it's the same freak out. It's the same freak out. So anyway.
Oh yeah, here's where she has her mini heart attack.
Yeah.
Little foreshadowing.
Setting it up.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So, Christine, my wife, her grandfather created a product called a Roll-A-Chart. Okay. And Roll-A-Chart was a plastic PERT chart, or Gantt chart that was printed. And then you would write on it with grease pencil or dry erase markers, whatever. And you had these magnets you'd put on it to indicate when things were supposed to start and stop. And they were GSA listed. So they were used in the creation of every dam in the United States. They were used for every major military build up and build out starting in like the 30s. So like when I saw this, I mean, this is basically the flat version of the Roll-A-Chart, literally made in my wife's grandfather's, shop and sold to these pharmaceutical companies and the rest. So there you go.
So yeah, there's Gordy.
This gets a little racy, just so you know. Don't want to.
I mean, 80s racy.
So we really got to give some background. So this is Hal watching Gordy making it with this gal, right? And then he does a thing that is problematic.
There's a lot of problematic in this scene.
This is great because it shows him cutting the tape into a loop.
This made me actually really happy just watching this because you can tell
tape editing.
You can tell that Mr. Doug Trumbull had spent a pretty substantial percentage of his life just pulling film across like an old moviola or something, cutting and taping, and like just to see like that he put that in his movie, because this is what he knows, and that's cool, a director, like putting that kind of weird thing into their movie. I love it.
So you have to be careful not to show that scene because we don't want to be listed, and delisted on YouTube for showing.
I clicked through it really quick.
No, okay. You haven't gone to the one that shows chesticles.
I was going to say it's just a good thing that brain film can be edited just like regular film.
Totally.
There's nothing special about it. You can just go ahead and tape that shit together.
Scotch tape, you're done. That's
yeah.
You got a track for each sense.
Another logo.
So the long and short of it is, you're not going to show it because we skipped it, but Hal, he. Well, I guess they get back to it.
I mean, he puts the loop up and has a little too much fun.
Yeah. And Larry Niven, he predicted this kind of thing and he called them wireheads. They were people who had basically become addicted to direct brain stimulation of the pleasure centers. So
because no one could predict that, not with drugs being the way they are.
Nope.
Well, if they just listened to Gordy.
Yeah.
I wanted to point out that the kid's got some pretty amazing quarantine hair going through all this too. He could really do with a good haircut.
Yeah. Rusty really needs more than just a haircut. I mean, look at that sweater. Yeah. He's going full like 2 popped collars.
Totally.
He's too young to be that much of a D-bag. Anyway. I don't know why I'm hating on this kid so much.
Yeah, you're really mean to this little kid.
I'm sure he turned out to be a fine adult.
I'm not sure of that at all.
Big deal.
Yeah, it's a real device. Huh, go figure.
So this is what his highlight his highlight reel of good memories to woo back his woman.
Yeah.
But there's one in here that I just really love. Look at this outfit.
All around it.
I like he's trying to convince his wife. Yeah, this huge, massive satellite dish. It's a new flower bed.
Oh, Chris.
Oh, so yeah, when you get there, I'll give my commentary. So she's packing up their shared house, right? She's sold it, moving out with the boy, the obnoxious boy. And so he's like, you know what? I know you're in the middle of packing everything up, but here's a 40-pound suitcase full of equipment. Why don't you have it? I'm going to go now. Like, dude, you didn't help pack the house up.
Yep.
You didn't help go through the stuff. You explicitly said as much in the movie. And now you're just going to make it harder for her? Like, dude, no wonder you're getting divorced. I mean, you treat people terribly.
Right.
Anyway.
I'm going to give you a whole bunch of stuff, and then I'm going to Christopher go walking right out that door.
Oh.
See what I did there?
That's good. That was awesome.
That was horrible.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
That was a good one.
You're welcome.
I think this is the first time, though, that we see the portable setup, like the portable place, the cyberdeck version.
The cyberdeck.
And I do appreciate the laptops, the 1983 laptops that they have, in this movie. It's quite nice.
Now we're going to spend a huge amount of time hanging out at the Wright Brothers Museum for reasons.
You gotta.
We used to go to the Outer Banks about every other year, sometimes once a year. So I spent tons of time in that place and in their shitty little museum that's like the size of my house. Bored out of my mind. It's actually where I found my love of entomology, because I got a book about carrion beetles there and spent days reading it.
In a little science shop.
So what Hal's problem here is that, male pigs can have orgasms that last 30 minutes, right? And Hal is just figuratively a pig, not an actual pig. and the human body is not meant to be in that state for 4 hours,
Don't take away my O machine.
Yeah.
Like, he should be handing him a Gatorade right now.
I need to rehydrate.
So why do you need a bariatric chamber to recover from extra sex? It doesn't make.
It was the
you
80s.
gotta capture the orgons. You're putting the orgons back in him, right? Like,
but also, like in that he is talking about how his life has changed.
Yeah.
How he's a new man.
Yep. He's more than he was before. Like, I love that. Like, this was like his spiritual awakening, was getting caught in an orgasm loop.
Right. Okay. So here, I thought, is the movie going to end? Is this the most elaborate anti-smoking campaign ever devised by man?
She ruined that perfectly. She ruined that perfectly good boombox.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So 80s.
I gotta give Louise Fletcher credit. She's like, I'm having a heart attack, and she immediately grabs the thing, starts recording. She doesn't call 911. She's like, nope, I'm gonna record my death. I'm gonna die forever.
Yep.
But the music is straight out of the Motar Nebula, like Star Trek 2 scenes.
All right.
Like you can almost hear Khan.
Here we go.
Turn it up. Well, you might have to scooch forward a little bit, but no. You're gonna get a copyright strike.
Khan!
Checks out.
Yeah, for sure. So 5504, everybody, check it out. All right.
That's because we're commentating on
so
this.
Good. Yeah, and Zen has a comment in 50 seconds.
It was the smoking thing.
Oh, yeah. That was the smoking thing. Okay. I gotta give her mad credit. She's like, you can tell she feels terrible.
Yeah.
But she'll be damned if her death's gonna be in vain. She's gonna do it for science.
Yeah.
And this
having not seen this movie before, when she gets the machine on her head and starts recording her death, I was kind of hoping that this would turn into like a Ring thing, where if you put the thing on, it opens a portal to hell or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That would
horror movie success has many parents. Maybe somebody in Japan saw
Yeah.
Brainstorm, was like, and it launched that entire genre of Japan horror.
I think you're speculating.
Sure.
She really is committed to this whole scene.
Yeah.
I mean, look at her eyes.
Yeah.
Like she's like, I'm gonna act the crap out of this death, I mean, and she does.
It was
She's
a long scene, and she carried it, man.
She was a great actor. I mean, she was a great actor. I mean, her, Nurse Ratched. I mean, she played. I mean, she. It was all on the table. It was all on the field with her. Oh yeah. Oh. This is so good. So. Yeah. Wait. Here it comes. It's just like, wow.
Oh.
Look at that hand biting.
Yeah. Oh, this is familiar. That's good.
Yeah, I just acting. It's like.
But also, that you experience the feelings of the person, what the person's going through. Why in the hell would you be like, oh, I think I want to know what a heart attack's like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, people watch Fox News. I mean.
Yeah, that does not give you a heart attack. That's just shitty. Big difference.
I don't know. We're waiting on Rob's. I love this. He just flicks a couple of dip switches and boom, hyperventilation, the actual negatives of death gone. No problem. We had a dip switch for that, so.
I did like the circuit board. I thought it was pretty realistic. And like, there's a part later where they show like a hex editor when he's hacking in. And I'm like, whoever was doing the technical advising, like, it wasn't crappy.
It wasn't so weird.
It wasn't Tron.
So far off. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a lot of good things about Tron too.
Sure, but they took a little more liberties with the tech.
No, this one they were trying to make it sort of plausible.
Yeah, it's plausible, right? Dip switches. Props.
That's how you do it. That's intense.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is where the show goes a little metaphysical.
Yeah. Her life is flashing before her eyes.
I like too that we get like some pretty serious wig action. Like he's like, look at that.
And this is actually, I feel like, kind of important for, the throwaway scenes later in the movie. We understand, like, he also works a lot with robots.
Yeah, and they've
when he destroys the production facility.
And when you say robots, you mean like real robots,
right?
Yeah,
not like Android.
C-3PO, like the actual robots that exist today.
Right.
Right. Not who was the android? Max.
Yep.
Not like Max 404.
Not like Max 404. No way.
404 not found.
404 not found.
I actually really liked these bubbles. And again, this is like old school visual effects. This took a huge amount of work. This was painstaking to create.
Oh, yeah.
And as the movie goes on, there's more and more of these just super trippy visuals.
They must have come up with an easy way to do it, though, because they use it a lot, right? So Robert J. Sawyer has a book called Factoring Humanity, where when you pass the death barrier, all people's memories are stored in these like quantum bubbles of space-time. Anyway, so it's very described in a similar way. So
we're jumping a ways now, so feel free to.
Yeah.
I can do this with the mouse.
I like that he has an observatory in his house,
Like, it's like Lord British, man.
Yeah.
For Mike Tiemann or any number of people in North Carolina.
This one's mine. And the thing that I like about this shot where you see the automation where they're building the cyberdecks and the helmets, go a little further here, is that like these are things that today, like at this time, all this technology kind of existed, but like, having a zero operator factory floor was very much sort of science fiction.
Yeah.
And like
extremely science fiction. Yeah.
And like, even today, like you don't build computers with robot arms. Like you build them with people putting shit together.
Well,
So
assembly is done with people putting things together, but
Yes.
the boards are put in
Well,
place and robots.
what they're doing in this one is assembly. Like they're
Yeah.
they have robot arms. They're picking stuff up. They're putting it together.
Yeah.
I just thought it was kind of interesting that this is like, they've gone to such mass production that they can't even have people involved.
Yeah, which is something, And there's the portable units with the CRTs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
I like
Yeah.
this one too.
So turn up the sound and then hear what he says.
So, playing a lot of golf.
Oh, it's becoming real hard to me. I can't shake it.
Everything
Yeah,
okay?
pause. So, what? That's never been a phrase. That's kind of weird, Yeah, it's been a real hard to me. I can't shake it. And I'm like, so this implies that he has prostitutes that he has not been able to shake, which, given his past, I get, but it's super weird. It was like I had to play that back 3 or 4 times, and I'm like, did I just hear the right word? That's a real word.
I should have done the drinking game for this one, but drink every time the logo shows up.
Yeah.
Oh man, no, you'd be dead. You'd be like Louise Fletcher
exactly.
on the floor, man. But we could record it and play it back for future generations.
I mean, isn't that what we're doing right now, Chris?
I mean,
Are you going to murder me?
I'm not saying I'm not going to murder you. I want to be my full Gordy self,
So you're going to murder me while you wear the helmet? We could both wear helmets, and then you could get both, and then you could do like a camera switching thing.
Oh,
Podcast ain't over yet.
Podcast ain't over yet.
We need you for about 40 more minutes.
I do like that. You're right about the user interface here. This is way better than any BBS I had.
Oh, yeah. Well, for 1983, having color and text positioning and multiple fonts.
Yeah, I mean, it has a big font and a small font.
2
All
fonts.
caps, though. Yeah.
That's not
So
fair.
it's still a 7-bit ASCII representation, or 6-bit. Probably EBCDIC,
Definitely. It's one of those weird ones where it doesn't have the pipe symbol. It's got the broken pipe symbol and that weird curvy character that nobody has anymore.
Everyone, I've got it. It's right here.
The one that's
talking
like
about
the little angle, that's like a corner in the right that they use for not.
They use exclamation point for not.
No, they didn't. That was the problem. They didn't have the symbol back in the day, so they started using the exclamation mark. Sorry.
He's hacking in, and they show
He's
the
putting in
little,
a group 7 password. Rainbow Flotilla.
Yep. Here's your.
That was from Tron.
Hex
like
edit.
this. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's real.
It's real.
The
That's
blonde-
how it looks.
The blonde guy on the left, he looks really familiar. I didn't look him up though, but I think he's been in other 80s stuff.
I feel like that it would be cool if this was actually a real message, but then I realized that's probably just literally what's on the right-hand side, and they probably didn't do anything fancy.
Yeah, I mean that's the point of the
Using a real piece of technology, yeah. Thanks.
Negative memory retrieval. I like this guy. He's like the one guy in the production facility.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ah.
Greatest sample ever.
Yep. Totally.
Wait a
It's
minute.
so
Did you? I missed this. 1855.
No. Yeah. Play this. No. It ends at 1855. It starts at about 1830. But play just.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Transformed to your conscious awareness. Warning, this tape must not be played by government personnel. It can be extremely harmful and result in severe trauma. You have 5 seconds to terminate this tape. 5, 4,
4,
3,
3,
2,
2.
1.
And you drop the bass. There you go.
Gordy.
15 in. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yep. No, that's a great way to start a mixtape right there.
Yeah. Go right to the death metal. Yeah, and then Rusty plays it, and he goes to the hospital, and then they're like, "Oh, he'll be fine." you know, and then you never see him again in the movie.
Yeah.
After his
So-
near death
Psychotic
experience.
episode.
122 here. This was hard for me.
Tape unauthorized.
I was hoping at this point that Gordy would just, shake it off a little bit.
Yep.
But no, Gordy flew too close to the sun. They killed him.
Our Icarus.
And for the dumpster fire that this week had been, losing Gordy was almost too much for me.
Oh.
I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure I wanted to finish this movie because they killed Gordy, man, not Gordy.
He was your
Not
spirit
Gordy.
animal.
Michael. And I've locked that tape up where nobody
locks me out.
Nobody locks me out. Did they already say that Gordy is dead? Did we already hear
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Okay. Pinehurst Golf Course, man.
Right.
My parents had a house on Pinehurst number 4, and my dad loved that course, man.
This porch here actually reminds me of there's a repeating scene in Happy Death Day, and it looks a lot like this. I actually want to get it up. It wouldn't surprise me at all, but
Have you checked if the filming location is the same?
it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, although I imagine Happy
Because a
Death
lot
Day
of
wasn't
people
filmed
film in
California.
North Carolina. Oh yeah, a lot of people film in North Carolina and Wilmington. Like Dawson's Creek was filmed there and stuff. So you'll sometimes see the same scenes over and over.
I mean, I'm sure that sort of place exists in every country club in America.
And is this one of the weirdest fights you've ever seen?
Well, it's staged.
She staged it.
Yeah.
Well, I get it,
But yes, it is completely unreal. Yeah, you got to help too.
But
You
the
gotta
premise is it's a real fight, right? I understand it's not real, but they want people to believe it's real.
Yeah.
And
It is.
this is just like, this further solidified to me that I don't know that I can watch Christopher Walken pretend to be a normal person as an actor, because his affect is all wrong in any sort of normal situation. I think he's an excellent sort of, weirdo or bad guy.
Yeah.
But if they want him to be a normal person, I
want
don't
you to
know.
keep it paused here. So.
Xterm, RTRM, 9600 baud, Conlink.
Yeah, so I gotta tell you, this is the last you hear of the boy, the annoying
You
child.
were so happy.
And I phoned the doctor. Chris will be fine. It's like, of course, yeah. Gordy dies, but Chris / Rusty, he survives. His delicate, still developing brain can take it, but Gordy's can't.
They watch the same things. You can't tell me Gordy hasn't been through way more shit than Rusty Griswold.
Yeah, the shit that Gordy has seen.
Because
Right,
Gordy was sort of sexually voracious, he can be justifiably dispensed with.
It follows the same logic as any horror movie.
I don't know. I mean, I don't really want the kid to die. That'd be terrible. But
this is
he
the
did
tape
play
laboratory.
Rusty in European Vacation. Yeah, this was kind of great though. I love the idea that there would be a tape robot like that. It's so dumb.
And that exactly. I really like this scene where the automation fights back, and there's right after this cut.
Glad this happened.
I feel bad for the security guard, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the one who really takes it in the chin,
Our packing peanuts, our precious peanuts.
Our
And then-
logo, no.
Just right after the security guard takes a spill, there's a laughing robot arm where like the robot arm goes ha 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 ha, which like what?
Before this?
No, after this.
No,
Keep
it's
going.
after.
Keep
It's
going.
after.
Yeah.
5 seconds.
I mean, I'll watch that all day.
We have to relive that. And then
Empty
next
box
scene, this guy.
packaging it. Yep.
Well, the best part is when he rides the
Whoa!
the equipment back through the door. It's just like, I felt bad, man. That would have really hurt, you know.
No,
like
no OSHA safety curtain. Like you're all those things are supposed to have light.
Yeah, where's the kill zone?
Exactly.
Can you imagine how dangerous this would have been if there was like a bushel basket full of banana peels?
He just jump.
Yeah.
Yeah, where's the fruit stand? No, and then he comes back, you know, through the door on another load of stuff. It's just like, dude,
Lillian Reynolds.
they were mean to that security guard.
Do not play per a.
Do not play.
Well, that seems reasonable.
Toxic. I like how they have a label for toxic tapes.
Yeah.
You know, the toxic tape library.
Like that wouldn't attract everybody. To watch
Sign me up.
All right, let's take a look at some toxic tapes tonight.
Have you learned nothing from Pandora's box? You know.
Oh, it's portable now. So
that guy.
Yeah.
They did a good job making him really just hateful,
unlikable.
You know?
Yeah.
Super punchable. You know.
Right after this, the cop tries to hold up a robot.
I'll go down to security.
Right there.
What? You realize
I like
that
how
won't
he
work,
doesn't
right?
shoot him.
Yeah.
No.
It's not that powerful of a fire hose, is it?
Pretty weak.
And also, they wouldn't have a fire hose with water in it in a machine room.
Maybe
be
that
like
guy
ethylene glycol.
has an extreme aversion to being wet or something like that. You know.
His one true weakness: water. He's like the aliens in Signal.
You
Signs. My
Signs.
God, do you know the correct title of anything?
No, I really don't. I really don't.
Do you mean brain scan?
Yep, I mean brainwave.
Brain poo. Brain hotel.
Oh, the robots are run amok now.
Well, they knocked over a thing that said "foam, don't add water" or something.
Yeah,
It's just
exactly.
like, you know, they sort of went wacky French hotel comedy.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
in the machine room.
Well, it hit all of our foam that you're not supposed to add water to. Oh no!
So I gotta say, Hal's wife must be a very patient woman. You know, I mean, she's stuck by him the whole time through.
How do you know that she didn't watch the loop either?
Yeah.
Maybe she went first.
Maybe she's more durable than old Hal, right?
Right.
Hey, honey, check this out. You mean lady. Why would you do this to me?
Oh yeah, so this is the end of thing.
The end of his.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot of. See now I'm thinking, oh, she does go to hell. Awesome.
Yep. This checks out.
Well, I mean, you know, that's what they're telling you through this is how she ended things.
Yep.
Is she was in hell. Or there's Gordy. That's Gordy.
Oh, he's okay. He's fine. Look at him. He's happy.
He's
Oh,
in a
never
pod.
mind.
In hell.
I didn't know Gordy was in the meat universe.
The sausage dimension.
He'll be back in 20 years. Well
You know,
nourished.
he's never left our hearts, you know.
I am a little skeptical that the modem technology of this time would be able to transfer the data required for this. Of all the things in this movie, that's the suspension of disbelief problem that I have.
That's the step too far.
That's the step too far, man.
I felt the same with the Scotch taping of the tape together.
Oh yeah.
You guys are a tough crowd.
Yeah, we're known for our high standards.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, for all the greatness that is this movie, this is the part I was just like, I just didn't buy it. You know, I'm like, first of all, why was she enabling him to do something that was so clearly suicidal? And now she's like, oh no, I didn't think you'd die after you watched the death tape. You know,
Yeah.
I'm like, and she's ostensibly, you know, smart enough to work for the big dumb science company. And I'm like, it's like, I get you're a great actor, but this is not supported by the script.
Yeah.
pretty awesome.
But if you think about
effects.
it, this is exactly like the calling you back from the brink, from
Totally.
the quantum realm with my
Yeah.
love.
Yep.
This is like the first time this happened, where somebody went into the science realm and wasn't going to come back until the love of a good woman.
This is some
You know,
interstellar
saved
level
him.
bullshit.
This is some interstellar level BS. Exactly. Thank you, Mr. Malda, for focusing us so precisely on previous discussions.
It's
So at
my
this
job.
point, in the movie, I'm thinking, first of all, this is very 80s paced, right?
Yeah.
It goes on a long time without anything major happening, and then
like end of 2001, long time. Yeah.
like
Doug Trumbull.
like the last 15 or 20 minutes, everything happens all at once, and this happens, and I'm like, so this movie is just about a brilliant scientist and his quest to watch a snuff film. I mean, that's really what this movie is about.
Yep.
I mean, he is willing to sacrifice Gordy, his family, his career, everyone he's ever loved,
Yep.
just so he can watch this woman he worked with die.
On the
Wow.
other hand, isn't this like answering some sort of question about eternal life?
I suppose so.
All right, I'm turning the audio down.
Oh, he does some trouble.
I mean, this is neat
There's
stuff.
all the souls. Yep.
All I'm saying is he didn't know that it was going to turn out like that. It could have turned out to be Meat Universe. That's
Totally.
And for some,
just nothing. It could just end up black with him having a heart attack, you know?
Yep.
he's all like, "Yeah, that was great. I want to do it again."
Yeah. So, sorry I ruined all of our lives because the government will hunt us down forever now.
Yeah.
And we're all going to jail.
But I've seen heaven.
I got to watch the lady die, and it was all worth it.
It felt good. Oh, and then we exit the movie in a memory globe or whatever.
Yeah. He is actually dead. This is just his last memory bubble.
Right.
The so-called Jacob's Ladder scenario.
Yeah.
I liked this movie a lot.
No, yeah, thank you, Chris. This was a good one.
It is a solid movie.
Yeah, I had never seen this before.
I would even go so far as to say, from a science fiction perspective, it was really important. You know, I mean, it's remarkably good. So, yeah.
That lots of tragedy, I guess. Natalie Wood died during the production, and
No, I think it was shortly after, but yeah, they end with a testament to her.
Yeah,
you know,
they tributed it to her. But yeah, there was some shenanigans then. Trumbull wanted to finish the movie. He was like, I have enough in the can to finish the movie, and then they had to go like get insurance claims, and the studio didn't like the movie, so they were all like, shut it down, let's collect the insurance money. And apparently Trumbull lobbied to get it finished, and got the money, and the insurance company put up the money to get like the last like couple $1 million to finish production.
They find like a brunette and like film her from behind for some scenes, or one of those things.
I think I didn't read that part, I guess. But he said he had enough in the can, and apparently he was right. It's not like a Princess Leia episode 9 situation where you've got not enough butter spread over a giant piece of toast.
Yeah.
It's a shame. It seems like that would have been the perfect opportunity to have more Gordy in the movie.
That's
you
true.
know?
But I feel like you could add Gordy to a lot of movies. Like, imagine if you're watching, like Ghostbusters or something, and Gordy comes in. He's like, "Hey guys, I got this cool helmet. I went places. I plugged it into the entire zoo. What do you want? I got 6 hours of orangutan."
So what's our next movie, I guess, is the question.
Oh man, that's a good question.
So there's a Christopher Walken movie in 1983 called The Dead Zone, based on the Stephen King novel, which is fantastic.
I feel like
It's
Rob's
one of
seen
the-
it.
If you want to,
One of the best Stephen King movies.
I agree.
think.
I agree. And it has like all these great again, it's like all these actors that we think of as just like these epic people, are in this movie.
And,
It's like,
and I just found out I was wrong. It wasn't Gordy. It was Rusty, who's Blake Lively's half brother.
Oh, that's so much worse.
Isn't it?
The obnoxious one?
Yep.
Yep.
That means that he is Deadpool adjacent.
I was looking at his adult photograph, and he looked like Gordy to me, but his.
All right, folks. I think it's time for us to say goodbye. This has been episode 467 of Geeks in Space, the special After Dark Brain Pan episode. I'd like to thank Chris DeBona.
Thank you for I have a great time doing these things.
Nate Ostendorp.
Storm the brains.
Rob Roseboom.
Good night, everyone.
So I'm Rob Commander Taco Malda. Thanks for watching. It's time for me to hit the button that turns on the theme song.